Guys, hi everybody and welcome back to Rebellious Menstruation. This is cloth pad tag number 10, the negatives. So question number 1, is there any maker that you do not want to try and why? Yes, there is. I no longer buy from makers who do not sew their own pads or from companies who do not control the production of their pads. And by that, I mean that, say for argument's sake, these are all made by specific people in the homes. These are made by WAMs. And I would prefer to support companies with ethical practices and small business owners, commonly called WAMs, or working at mothers in the cloth pad community. This here is a Hannahpads one. I do have a Hannahpads review up. Hannahpads is a Korean-owned company, and they own their factory, and they operate their own factory. And they can actually, they can post footage, you can see photos, you can meet their employees, and they have, they can guarantee their employee practices, including benefits, salaries, and OH&S practices. In comparison to, say, these ones, which are Chinese cheapies, I have posted a video about Chinese cheapie and the manufacturing of cloth pads and why I no longer buy these types of things. However, there are certain people who like purchase these from wholesalers in China, get their logo stitched on and then resell it from their shop front. While I am not having a go at them personally, I choose not to purchase something that has come from a Chinese or Taiwanese wholesaler that cannot guarantee employee practices, benefits, salaries, or H&S. So I would much prefer to purchase from somewhere like Hannahpads, which do own and operate its own factory and have its own chain, and WAMs, who are working at home mums and are supporting small businesses and actually make these, and you can actually, see these production values in here. Okay, so question number 2, is there any product you do not want to try and why? Yes, there is sea sponges. I've stated before that I'm not really actually a big fan of internal protection, and all of them can contain a certain amount of risks, like all internal protection, contain a certain amount of risks. So any value or anything that you put inside of yourself will carry a risk. However, the menstrual cup, which I have several menstrual cups which I've shown before, I have reviews of these up, so you can actually go check out the reviews of the cups. These are convenient as to how long they can be worn, up to 12 hours. They are easy to clean, sterilize, and reuse. So when I'm actually using them, like in, when I'm on my period, I will wash them out with essentially an adult toy cleaner. When I'm not, and before I actually wear them, I will then boil these in water. Literally, you need a pot, tap water, and to boil it for 5 minutes. They're literally really easy to clean and maintain. Sea sponges are ocean-grown animals that, when used as a replacement for tampons, can be sterilised much like these cups, rinsed and reused for between 6 to 12 periods, or between 6 and 12 months. Why I don't want to use sea sponges is not only are they not vegan, but they can be filled with dirt, debris, bacteria, including the Staph aureus, which is the staph that causes TSS, and other natural contaminants will be contained within them. The sponge can cause abrasions in your vaginal canal, just like tampons, and pieces can break off and remain in the vaginal canal and therefore cause health issues. There have been TSS cases associated with sponges, but that can really apply to anything that you use in your body. Sea sponges are literal animals that feed on food particles and bacteria that excrete waste when liquid runs through it. So no, thank you. They have been a product used to promote period sex, however they are simply unhygienic, and I do not want to put them inside my body. Okay, So the next question is, I just have to turn my page because I do actually have notes, is number 3. Well, I do have the questions written down. Another thing is the questions will also appear down below in the notes. So if you have a YouTube channel that you do menstrual related videos on, or health related videos, or women's health related videos on, grab the questions and do this video as well. Question number 3 is any style of pad you don't want to try and why. Base and insert pads, these styles, whether with the rickrack strap over the top of the insert or the ones that fold up, are literally what turned me off cloth pads for over 10 years. I haven't used this style due to my obvious reaction against them, so I really don't like. So if people haven't seen them, essentially you might have a base and then you would get the liner and you would put the liner over the top, and there might be straps over here to hold this liner in place. I do not like the idea of that, and I think the idea is that then when this base is dirty, you remove this and then you put another like base down. However, I can't imagine that these rack straps will stay clean. I cannot imagine that the top or the outside fold will remain clean enough. I prefer to, you know, wear the pad, remove it, and put a clean one on. I just, for my own, you know, brain, that's more hygienic than maintaining the single base. Question number 4 is what's the worst pad experience you've had in a while? These types of mass-produced Chinese products, they are made primarily of polyester and PUL. So this is this back is the PUL, and it's a printed PUL, and this is a polyester with a little bit of bamboo in it, so that they can call it bamboo lined. They are made, so because they're made primarily of polyester and PUL, this means that they can be hot, sweaty, and can cause rashes closer to the reaction from disposable products than actual cloth pads. They are very slippery, and it doesn't actually matter how tight your underwear are, they also slip around. They are also sold primarily as bamboo pads, but contained little bamboo and are mostly majority polyester. So this bit here is really, really slippery and slips around on your underwear. So, you know, there's a really big difference between these and also this one's corduroy backed. If you guys know, I'm obsessed with corduroy because it doesn't move on your underwear. This you can basically not stop moving on your underwear because it is so slippery. Question number 5, are there any bad websites and good websites to purchase from? I'm only going to address this as a consumer and not as a seller, because I am not a maker or a seller, so they may have other concerns and or comments about how websites function and how the fees work. I personally do not have any experience with that. I find that Etsy has been my main site to purchase from. I have also purchased from eBay, but these one here, I have reviewed this as a very badly made pad. This is an eBay purchase. So essentially the way that this is structured is that the top core, which is, you know, not even or structured, has been sewn directly to the backer. So you would essentially bleed through this, which is a problem. And on top of that, the other reason that this is a little bit dodgy is there's no like stitches to keep this from fraying. So it's just, in, you know, all in all a bit of a dodgy. So this one was an eBay purchase. This one here, this Chinese cheapie, also an eBay purchase. So the experience that I've had with probably eBay, these are the type of pads that also appear on Amazon. The good sites, Etsy, where I've got all of these 3 are from Etsy. This one here, Hannahpads, is directly from Hannahpads shop. I will link Hannahpads down below. And also there is clothpadshop.com.au, and also you can purchase pads from floraandfauna.com, so I'll link all those websites down below. Question number 6 is, what is your worst period story? When I was 13, I got my period on a holiday with my dad, and we were also in a foreign country which didn't speak English, so we had to navigate getting them from the pharmacy. This is while using single-use disposable. So also with using single-use disposables, I had many overbleeds onto pants, sheets while out, onto pillows, and all this type of stuff. So just the general horribleness of using disposables. While using cups, I switched to an unfamiliar cup mid-cycle, and I can't remember why I did this, and it was a heavy day, so while changing I dropped the cup at midday, like while I was on lunch, and dropped it all over the bathroom floor, myself and my pants. Thank God I was wearing black pants. I did tell that story in my Ruby Cup review. Question number 7 is, worst reaction to cloth pads reusables. Women are 100% always the ones to react negatively. The worst comment I've had is an apology that I couldn't afford disposable products, and like essentially an offer, do you want me to go buy you some? So my reaction was to laugh, and I explained that reusable products, while cheaper in the long run and overhaul, are definitely essentially a luxury product, both in the initial cost outlay and in how your body is treated as a precious object rather than a shameful object. So I probably didn't react as well as what you thought, because I was like, yeah, I don't hate my body, so I don't want disposable products. Question number 8 is, what is the worst thing about disposables? They are environmentally disastrous and are physically disastrous to women. Question number 9 is, what is the worst thing about the cloth pad community? This has come up in another cloth pad tag, which I did respond to in that, and however essentially the answer is the lying that occurs. Cloth pad and cups do not make your period shorter, lighter, or change it. They do give that impression because they're not causing dermatitis, cramping, or horrible reactions. So therefore people think that they're also, on top of that, disposables give the illusion that you are heavier than what you actually are. If you think you're a really, really heavy person, please go get a menstrual cup and measure it. And a normal period is between 30 to 80 mils of blood loss. So if you fall within that range, you have a perfectly healthy normal period. And it is expected that your period will change over your life due to diet, exercise, weight, body, and whether you give birth or not, and a whole plethora of things that really have very little to no relation to the products that you use. And last but not least question is, what is the worst thing about menstrual cups? They can be difficult to manage in public. So they can be, while I've seen it recommended that you wipe your cup off with the toilet paper, I personally find this very unhygienic as it leaves fibres behind, and I intentionally don't use tampons because I specifically don't want fibres being left behind causing health issues, and especially not toilet paper in a public bathroom as well. So generally I'll just rinse it off with water and reinsert it if I need to. I just don't want toilet paper fibres being left behind. And also I just usually remove and change this even in the shower, even after like 18 months of using cups. I just still like the safety of changing it in the shower. So I've only changed it once in public. That was the story that I was telling you before about dropping the cup all over myself in the middle of my period at work. So yeah, probably still a little bit gun shy. Also, I have an exceptionally high cervix, which means that it can be quite difficult to wriggle the cup out to get it down and out and then tip it out, and yeah, so it's just easier for me to do this at home. Okay, so all of these questions will be in the description box below. Please get them and answer them. These are important things to get out and around because we all are unique, and we all have different periods, and we all have different responses to these questions. So get information out there, reduce the shame. So outside of that, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon or evening, and I'll catch up with you guys next time. Bye.